I'm Not a Coach by Tom Seast. I'm not a coach. I've concluded that I'm probably a horrible coach. I'm not sure why. I never really thought about it much, but I am a terrible student. While I've spent my life learning from experiences, I've always been a poor student for my teachers. Some have told me that I'm a terrible listener, but I wasn't paying attention. And those are two different things. I was a terrible listener for years because I could hear next to nothing, and it is easy to ignore every word when you can't hear anything. But the real problem is I never pay attention. I never focus. The lifeboat drill. Back in the good old days when we could cruise on cruise ships, we used to attend a mandatory lifeboat drill. Each cruise line had a different name for the lifeboat drill, but the entire purpose was to inform people what to do if something went wrong while at sea. At the end, or during the lifeboat drill, my buddy Tom or I would raise our hand and ask, "Did we get off the ship before it stops or after?" The crew would roll their eyes from the starboard side to the port side of the ship. Over time, as we attended more and more sinking boat drills, we paid less attention. I was fortunate that in my over 360 days of sailing on cruise ships, I never needed to know anything they taught during the drills. No hope. See, in my early days of sailing, I knew that there was little hope that I could make it to the lifeboats if an emergency happened. I couldn't climb stairs, and I knew that using elevators during power outages is a bad idea. I also had difficulty going downstairs. So in my mind, if the ship was going to go down, I was either going to float to shore because I was buoyant, or I was going to sink to the bottom with the ship. I still remember my first cruise in 2008, when I could actually climb from the bottom deck to the top deck of the ship. The photos below were taken by a son while on that ship. I cruised for 5 years before I knew I could climb from the bottom deck to the top deck of a ship. I assessed and took risk. I started simple. When I finally realized that I was overweight, I decided to lose weight by starting simple. For me, it was easy to give up sugar at the time. So I ate a low-carb diet. I eliminated carbohydrates. I also started walking just a little bit each day. Eventually, I could walk to the mailbox 1/10 of a mile away. And then I added more mailboxes. Eventually, I started bicycle riding. I started riding with a 3-mile ride and then added more miles. I took simple steps. Eat, stop eating. I was introduced to the concept of fasting back when I was a kid in Sunday school. My teacher read me the story of Jesus fasting in the desert for 40 days. So I knew what fasting was. And I spent time with my buddy Tom, who had completed 2 21-day fasts. So I knew people were capable of going long periods of time without food. Based on this knowledge, I developed what I called my simple fasting plan. Number 1, eat. Number 2, stop eating. Number 3, return to eating when hungry. The 10-second fasting plan. I used to joke with my children that I'd been fasting all my life and that I knew how to do it from an early age. I would refer to this as the 10-second fasting plan, and my children fasted this way. The 10-second fasting plan looks something like this. Number 1, take a bite and do not chew. Number 2, swallow and don't rest. 3, Start at step 1 and continue until you feel sick. The Calorie Counter's fasting plan. I spent well over 3.5 years counting calories that I ate and the calories that I burned. This is commonly referred to as calories in, calories out. Many people swear that calories in, calories out is the only way people lose weight and that you have to maintain an energy deficit to lose weight. I was good with accounting, budgeting, and monitoring, and I was good at math, but I was not good at losing weight while maintaining an energy deficit. But for those that like to fast while counting calories, this is your plan. 1. Carefully measure each bite of food you put in your mouth and calculate its calorie and macro count. 2. Log the food in an app like MyFitnessPal and be as accurate as possible. 3. Swallow and rest for 30 seconds. 4. Carefully count each glass of water and any electrolyte drink you consume when thirsty. 5. Start at step 1 again when hungry, and you will be hungry. The high carb, low fat fasting plan. Most people that I know personally fast when they eat low carb, high fat diets, but I have known people that also fast while maintaining high carb, low fat eating patterns. It can be done. I've done it both ways, and either method may work for you. As we've discussed, I'm not a coach, so I won't tell you what to do. But here is my high carb, low fat fasting plan. 1. Take a bite of high carb, low fat food. 2. Chew, enjoy, and then swallow. 3. While chewing, think about the people that consume too much fat, as they will all die shortly. 4. Return to step 1 when hungry, which will probably be pretty soon. The low carb, high fat fasting plan. This method is my favorite form of fasting. I found that if I eat plenty of protein and plenty of fat, I was never hungry. Some would say that this was because I was in ketosis. Others would say that this was because I was not eating carbohydrates. Even others would say that my body had adapted to burning the fat that I had been storing for years. Others would claim that I was eating lots of protein and protein keeps me from being hungry. The bottom line is, I don't know why it worked for me. But here is my low-carb, high-fat fasting plan. 1. Eat a mixture of foods that meet your daily nutritional goals. 2. Stop eating, live life, be distracted, and rest as needed. 3. Offer thoughts and prayers for the people that consume too many carbs, as they will all die in short order. 4. Drink a mixture of water, electrolytes like salt, and possibly even broth when thirsty. 5. When you feel hungry again, and this may take days, or feel bad in any way, start again at step 1. And now you know. Much of this prose is written with a sense of sarcasm and humor, and part of it was meant to be taken seriously. But I think we can all agree that I don't have the detailed mind, the skills, or the attention span to teach and coach you through any nutrition or fasting plan. I'm simply too needy. I have my own experiences, which are valuable and prove that goals are attainable. I've saved my life with my experiences, but they may not apply to you. But I know people. It's not what you know, but who you know. And in my case, I know I'm not a coach. I know many coaches that can help you each reach nutrition, exercise, and weight loss goals. And I'll be happy to introduce you to some of them if you want help. I know many coaches, and I'm here to help.